In August 1896, a 16-year-old boy lay down on the floor of his uncle's house in Madurai, stopped breathing on purpose, and asked himself one question. He never really got up the same person again. This is the story of Ramana Maharshi. Venkataraman Iyer was born in 1879 in the small town of Tiruchuli, Tamil Nadu, into an ordinary Brahmin family. He was an average student, better at wrestling and swimming than scripture, with no interest in religion at all. As a child, the word Arunachala already stirred something in him he couldn't name. A sacred hill hundreds of miles away that he had never seen. He didn't know why the name moved him. He just knew that it did. One ordinary afternoon in his uncle's house in Madurai, with no illness and no warning, a sudden overwhelming fear of death gripped him. Instead of running from it, he decided to face it directly. He lay down, stiffened his body like a corpse, held his breath, and silently imitated death. Then he asked himself, when this body dies, what exactly is it that dies? The body would be carried away and burned, he realized, but the awareness observing all of it was still there, untouched. From that moment, the fear of death vanished completely and never returned. Weeks later, he took 3 rupees, wrote a short note for his brother. I have, in search of my father, started from here, and walked out of the house without telling a single soul. He sold his gold earrings for train fare, boarded trains he had never taken before, got off at the wrong station more than once, and walked the final miles on foot toward the hill he had never seen. When he finally reached the great temple at the foot of Arunachala, he walked straight to the inner sanctum and felt, for the first time in his life, that he had arrived home. He threw away his remaining money and never left the mountain again. Seeking silence, he descended into Patala Lingam, a dark underground vault beneath the temple, and sat in meditation so deep that ants and vermin bit his body raw. He never noticed. Devotees eventually found him and carried him out. For years afterward, he lived in caves on the hillside, saying almost nothing at all. Slowly, without a single sermon, people began to come, first out of curiosity, then out of devotion. Years later, his mother came to live near him. When she lay dying in 1922, he sat beside her for hours, his hand resting on her chest. Devotees say he gave her liberation in that final moment, one of the only times anyone ever saw him weep. His entire teaching could fit in 3 words. Who am I? Not a ritual, not a chant, just tracing the sense of I back to its source, again and again, until only silence remained. He treated a wealthy visitor and a stray dog with exactly the same attention. A cow named Lakshmi wandered into the ashram one day and never left. And when she died, years later, he sat beside her too, the same way he had sat beside his mother. In his final years, a tumor grew on his arm. Devotees begged him to have it removed. He refused most treatment, and when someone wept at the thought of losing him, he simply said, "Where could I go? I am here." On the evening of April 14th, 1950, as he passed away, witnesses outside said a bright light streaked slowly across the sky and disappeared behind the peak of Arunachala. He never named a successor. He said the mountain itself was the teaching. If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe, and join us for more tales from Kathavana, stories that outlive time.